Ship in my life, because I was the medic with the 3rd Marine Division in Okinawa in 1972 and 73. Left there, came back to the station, went from the Marine Corps to being in with the Navy Seabees. That's when, after 12 years, I got out.
Brian Kelly and I went in '68, right after, a little while after graduating high school. Was in the Air Force, 23 years. I did a tour in Southeast Asia, Desert Storm, retired in '91. Was an aircraft mechanic and then I cross-trained into being a flight engineer on heavy jets. So I got to see a lot of the world, and but it was all real good.
Yeah.
I was in the Navy and heard of a Navy SEAL. I was a Navy squeal. I squealed about everything. Served a little time on an aircraft carrier, and I was a hospital corpsman also, like Bill. And a lot of time at the Naval Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. So went in 60, active duty in 66, got out in 69, and then spent a couple of more years in the reserve. So
You were after high school then, didn't you?
out right day after high school. When
Oh my gosh.
I joined the Navy, Naval Air in 1963 out of the 10th grade, and came back, finished high school, and went on active duty at Navy Dallas Naval Air Station as an aviation bosun mate. That's it.
Navy. I was in Vietnam in 69 and 70, naval support activity, and was glad to get out of there. That wasn't a whole lot of fun. Not a whole lot else. I went in 68, got out in 72.
Served the way these fellows did, in a real active service. I was in the reserves. I got my draft notice very shortly after they invited me to leave college. And so I was fortunate enough to join the 18th Station Hospital out at ULR, and I enjoyed 7 summer camps in 6 years.
That's good. That's good.
I'm Chuck Wisdom. I got my draft notice and joined the Air Force in 1967. Went to Wichita Falls, Texas at Shepherd Air Force Base. Spent 4 years there. Couldn't wait to get out. Did get out. And, I thought, well, that wasn't too bad. So I joined the Air National Guard and got out 35 years later.
I'm Ray Miller. I'm married to Diane Charles Miller, and I went in the Navy in '63 and got out in '70. And I was on board a guided missile destroyer, and I was on board. I was out at sea for 2 years on board the Charles F. Adams, which is the first guided missile destroyer built from the keel up, and they're supposed to make a museum out of it in Jacksonville, Florida.
I'm Larry Brown, and I joined in 1968, and I spent, I was in the Vietnam era, spent just a little time in Vietnam, got exposed to Agent Orange, which I got cancer out of that. And I got off active duty in 1970, came back and joined reserves, and I liked it so much. Then I got activated to Desert Storm, spent some time over there, and I liked it again like so much. I spent 40 years, 2 months and 3 days. When I turned 60, it made me get out. So I enjoy every day.
Brothers, Lloyd Brothers Jr. But I spent 2 years in Vietnam on an aircraft carrier there 50 miles out from Hawaii over there. And then I volunteered for Operation Deep Freeze and left Vietnam and went to Antarctica for 2 years. And, yeah. But then I came back and finally got out. And I just been working.
David Dumas, served in the Army 1968 to 69. I was in the 5th Division, 1st Logistical Command,
Went to Vietnam in 68 and 69. Got out when I got home.